Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and just found out about 5 minutes ago what the events are going to be for this weekend in terms of shards and champions that are live for special events and all of that. Obviously, we all know the workflow was a little bit crazy for Plarium right now, so we're finding out about things at random times of the day and stuff, but I'm just thankful that we are able to get information from them and bring that forward to you guys as well. So we're going to get you context on what is coming up this weekend for the shard events and talk about some of the champions that are going to be featured as 10x as part of that. And then also we'll just quickly wrap up the other stuff going on right now as well. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, we have currently got happening right now a 10x going on for Glissie Soul Guide. Now, sometimes they do this during CVC just as an incentive for those people that are pulling shards. They might throw up a new or desirable champion as part of that for the people that are trying to double dip and pull some shards during CVC being live. But even though Glissie is a pretty solid champion, looks super amazing, Raid always does an amazing job on the art, I probably think you'd want to hold off and really pull shards during 2x events if you can help it and if you can make sure to time that as well. But if you're unfamiliar with Glissie, she's actually super cool because of this passive right here. It's kind of like a warlord counter who is super popular in the arena, obviously. The champion skills cannot be put on cooldown, which counters probably the strongest ability of Warlord, where he puts everybody's skills on cooldown for 2 turns. And then she's a pretty decent support. Other than that, she's got the A1 that can do a freeze and also a debuff spread. So you've got a little bit of utility there, but you've also got an AoE that does weaken, which is a little bit more rare than decreased defense. And she's also going to steal a buff if they're under freeze. Obviously, we just saw a big rework coming to Yakaro, so if you have your Yakaro, it might be fun to do something with Glissie here to get a team based around freezing and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. She also places block debuffs, which is obviously super strong. Any sort of buff or debuff manipulation is going to be a huge point of value and a massive spike in power to really any team going on, and then more synergy with the freeze and obviously the passive that we talked about. So she definitely has a role in the game. She's definitely a cool champion with some cool utility and bringing a new ability to the game here with this passive that unlocks when you ascend her. So obviously a strong champion, but I do think for most of you out there, it's going to make more sense to pull your shards during 2x events like we're getting this weekend. And for this weekend, it is going to be exactly what we thought it was going to be, but it's always nice to get confirmation and be 100% certain. But starting this Friday, over the course of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are going to be having 2x Ancient Shards live, so they will be boosted, double the chance for Epics and Legendaries. But that is not all. We're actually going to be getting a 10x that coincides with the 2x Ancients. And Lysandra is going to be the featured champion of that 10x. Now, the way they typically do this is when the weekend starts, depending on where you live in the world, whenever it's, sometime on Friday, but it's going to be Friday and Saturday. You'll have 2x Ancients and a 10x for Lysandra. And then on Sunday, the 10x for Lysandra will expire, and we'll have 1 day of just 2x Ancients. So I like how they've been doing that the last few months because it gives you, the player, the option to customize. Do you want to pull your shards while there is a 10x? Coinciding with the 2x for an increased chance of getting Lysandra, or maybe you're already lucky enough to have a Lysandra and you don't really want a duplicate of her, so you'd rather just pull your shards during a normal 2x where there is no 10x for Lysandra. Well, then that player has an opportunity as well because you can pull your shards on Sunday without the 10x for Lysandra being live. So basically, I know that got a little bit wordy, but for this weekend, if you want to pull your shards during both the 2x Ancients and the 10x for Lysandra, you'd want to pull your shards on Friday or Saturday. If you just want to pull your shards on a normal 2x without double dipping with Lysandra's 10x, you would want to pull your shards on Sunday. And Lysandra is actually a really good champion, probably in that top 25 or so caliber legendary, just in terms of general usefulness. She's got so much turn meter and speed manipulation that she's really a good addition to most any team. And even her A1 has the ability to transfer debuffs to a target, and then the A2 fully depletes a turn meter, so you can pick a target you want to bully and then slam them down to 0. Works super amazing in somewhere like the Fire Knight for suppressing the turn meter. I use her in my main Fire Knight team, and also acts as a speed booster. This is one of the best speed manipulation abilities in the game because you're getting the increased speed for all allies, and then you're also filling the turn meter of all allies, and it's the big version. It's 30, not 15. But you're also getting both sides of it because you're decreasing the turn meter of all enemies by 30%. Now, it is worth noting you're going to need accuracy to get that decreased turn meter to proc, and it works because you want accuracy anyway for the transfer of the A1, but usually people are going to be prioritizing building their Lysandra as fast as possible. I know I prioritized the speed of my Lysandra and got her up at like 350 something, 360. So admittedly, I had to sacrifice a little bit of accuracy, but I want her to be insanely fast to make some of my teams go faster, my Fire Knight, and then use her for different speed compositions in the arena. And she also has one of the best auras in the game of ally speed in all battles by 24%. So yeah, all in all, a pretty exciting shard weekend, and I think if you don't have Lysandra yet, it would make perfect sense to pull your shards during the 2x and the 10x both being live. So pulling your shards on Friday or Saturday because Lysandra is a great champion to have on your roster if you don't have her yet. So I think that would make perfect sense. But if you already have Lysandra, you can either save for another event, like when there's that next fusion coming up, and maybe you want to save a bunch of shards to pull during a champion chase or something. I could understand that if you already have Lysandra. So I think you'll see I think you'll see a decent amount of people though YOLOing some shards this weekend because Lysandra is definitely one of those pretty sought after and high value champions. Then as we transition to the stuff going on in game, just really quickly to give you the rundown and keep you in the loop as we enter the middle of the week here, we've got a normal Spider tournament going on, but do remember that we're gonna have craziness going on next week. It's gonna be wild because of the champion training that is going to be going on for Krisk. So worth noting that you might want to get to 2050 to scoop up all the chicken and stuff that you can if you're going to be going for that because it's going to be absolutely bonkers. You're going to have to no life raid and really push your account to the brink if you're going to be going for Krisk. If you're an end game player, I don't know exactly how the structure of that's going to break down next week, but I think it's probably going to be based off of being level 100. Like you can see up there on the top left of the screen, I'm level 100, so I'll probably be placed in a group where Krisk is going to be the reward for rank 1, and then it scales down from there at different tiers of levels for accounts. You'll have like Mashaled, Mountain King, and Royal Guard as well. But worth noting, you're going to want to get the chicken and stuff in order, brews, if you're going to be going for some of these champions in a champion training. There's also a Fire Knight tournament going on right now for just today. I thought about at least getting up to 1350 to scoop up the chicken in case I'm going to be going after Krisk, and then might as well, if I get that far, I might as well push it up to 2100. So I might do another 1200 points or whatever today just to scoop up these rewards on the right side. And if you're curious about the team that I am using, it is going to be this one right here with Xavia bringing just a little bit more damage because of the aura, and then Lydia for the debuffing, the defense break, the weaken, and the speed boosting in my team. Cold Heart and Allure, obviously we all know they're amazing in the Fire Knight because of suppressing turn meter, and then Battle to pair with my Xavia to be blowing up those poisons to help me both get through the wave and also nuke down the Fire Knight super fast because whenever I do specialized events like this, I like to do stage 20 because it's actually better points per energy than stages 24 or 25. And when I have to build a special team where I've only got a very select few factions or champions available to me, it makes it a lot easier to build an efficient team. And I'm able to do stage 20. Depending on RNG, it's between a minute 15 and a minute 45 with this team, so it averages about a minute 30. And we are also going to be having a classic arena takedown starting tomorrow. It's perfectly normal, not really anything special to note crazy there for the classic arena takedown. Then under the events tab, we've got dungeon divers going on for the next few days. Again, you've got a couple chicken up for grabs here, which normally isn't a big deal. But like I said, your account is going to be tested and pushed to the brink if you're going to want to go for Krisk or Mashaled especially. Those are going to be highly competitive tournaments where you're going to need every resource you can get. And then this champion training event, you may want to hold off and kind of save some resources if you're going to be going after the craziness ensuing next week. We also have a CVC event going on that will end today. So remember to get in, jump in on your account and get some points for your team, especially if you're behind or in a barn burner match that you're really trying to win. And then that means that next week, during all the craziness for the champion training events, where champions are group rewards, we will not have a CVC. So it means the next CVC is going to be about 11 or 12 days from now, and it'll be more close towards the end of the month. I think it'll be like March 29th or so is about when we'll have the next CVC. So now we'll jump into the shop and go over this stuff really quick. We've got a multi-battle pack. Again, plan ahead. If you're a spender on Raid and you're going to be jumping into some of these champion training events, I know I keep hammering that home, but some of this stuff is going to be of a little bit more value than normal, especially to people that are spenders on the game. So let's go ahead and plug this in. We've got the 700 energy, and we've got the 12 energy refills of boom. Okay, so a 1.83, but you also get the 150 multi-battles. So an offer like this would actually be pretty impactful if you're going to be going after the craziness that's happening next week, even though it only grades out as a 1.83. A good time to scoop up the monthly pack because you're going to get energy and gems. Then you would also get the 5 ancients that will coincide with this weekend's events, and the monthly pack does grade out as a 2.5, so it's one of the better offers that you consistently see in Raid. Not a good time to buy 5-star crit damage gear for sure. The training pack, I can plug this one in. It's a new pack that I haven't seen. This might be the first time I've seen it. I don't recognize this one. I especially don't recognize the artwork here. So we've got 100k. And then we'll scroll down and get, what is that? 20 times 3 is 60 plus 40 is 100. We've got 100 superiors, a 1.75. So typically some of these potions are not that great. It would have more value for somebody who's a beginner and maybe can't grind up the level 15 or level 20 stages for some of these potion keeps. But all in all, I think you're better off spending money elsewhere than $20 for this. This would need to have like some sort of energy or gems or something in it to put it over the top. And then the special ancient pack is obviously going to coincide with the summoning events going on this weekend. Then for this string special ancient pack, I like to refer to a kind of database that my good friend and fellow content creator Smiley has. So if I pull up the most similar one that I can find in some of the history chronicles of some of these, when you can see the full view of the packs, this is going to be a little bit different. It's for a higher spending tier than the one that I have here on my account. You can see the one on mine starts here at number 1 with the 20 ancients, and then this one starts with 40 at a different spending tier, but they're typically about the same value when you compare them. They're going to be like within, you know, a 0.1 or a 0.2 for sure. They're usually pretty close to each other. And when I plug in that higher tier one, it ends up grading out as a 1.43. Probably the reason it ends up grading out bad is because Sacreds, they just typically way overcharge for Sacreds. They're more of a YOLO than a consistent value because there's just too many epics in the game. So your odds of getting, you know, one of those desirable epics when you don't get a legendary is pretty low. That's why Sacreds are pretty tough. And this one has 2 of the offers here that have Sacreds in the middle. And then to get to the fairly priced Sacred, even $10 for that is a little bit iffy, but even to get to the end here, so yeah, it's probably not a very good string pack in my opinion here for this one, even though the ancient shards are going to be boosted up this weekend. I just wish every offer here was ancients as we head into the 2x weekend with Sandra as the 10x. And then we've got the contender pack here, so let's plug this in. We've got 20, and then arena refills is going to be 6. All right, and then the chicken is pretty good now, especially if you're going to be going crazy next week. And then the tomes are 2 apiece, so we're going to go epic of 2 and 2. So a 1.90, but it's probably about a 2.0 when you think about chicken being kind of a premium right now, if next weekend's shenanigans apply to you or not, but still not a super good pack in my opinion. So alrighty, that's going to do it for this one. Sorry, my kind of wrap-up type video was a little bit later in the day, but I did it within I got to work within 5 minutes after we found out the information from behind the scenes about what is coming up this weekend. So just to wrap up really quick, this weekend on Friday, you're going to get a 2x for Ancient Shards on Friday and Saturday, and then it will coincide with Lysandra early on that Friday and Saturday, and then on Sunday it will be just 2X Ancients without coinciding with Lysandra. So that is what is coming up this weekend, and then next week is going to be the crazy wildness with the Krisk shenanigans, and then the Mashalette and the Mountain King and the Royal Guard and all that coinciding with the champion training going on. So let me know what you think about all of that down below. I enjoy reading your input as well, and that'll do it for me on this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.